Good morning, everyone. I hope that you are bundled up and warm. Um, we actually are having a very mild winter so far, so we're excited about that. But I like bundling up. So anyway, uh, get your coffee, hot chocolate, cold drink, whatever you like to have, and come on to the table and let's talk. My name's Carol Henderson, and I have Life by Design, and I help you to make the second half of your life better than the first, whether it's in the spiritual realm, the soul realm, or the physical realm. I do work in all three areas. So if you need anything, want to visit or chat, reach out. And this is my wonderful co host, Barbara Ellison.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mavens of Motivation. You know what? This is like December. Christmas is 2 weeks away, and I finally got out my fancy dancy little Christmas sweater. And you know what? I'm going to wear it now for the next couple of weeks, just because, how often do we have things that we only wear or do or participate in at certain times of the year, and yet the rest of the year we might be looking for something to do, and we don't do it because we only do that at that time of the year. Well, you know what? I am a firm believer that, when I was growing up, we used to have a DJ in Montreal. We had a DJ that we did Christmas in July. It would be hot out. Montreal in the summertime can be hot, surprisingly, even though it's so far north. But we would have this hot weather, and we would be doing Christmas in July because he did Christmas in July. And we would have a whole week of Christmas music. And so consequently, that was something that, when David was still alive, he would come home and he would be, why are we listening to Christmas music? Well, why shouldn't we listen to Christmas music? And two of my favorite hymns are "O Holy Night" and "Silent Night." And so consequently, they are on a playlist that I have. And every once in a while, and turn on my playlist and hit shuffle, so that all the songs on the playlist play randomly. So I will all of a sudden hear, come on, baby, let's do the twist. And we do the twist. But then in the next song, it's "Oh Holy Night." The thing is though, that's what part of life is all about. So that's what I thought we would talk about a little bit today. Do things that lets you have things in your life that surprise you. Yeah. Even if it's just having a playlist that you put on just random play.
Well, and so often, so often, like your sweater, those things aren't cheap. And we get them and we wear them just for a day or two, or one time or two times.
Right.
Think we have to wait a whole year.
And think we have to wait.
And, I have a couple of things, but I haven't. I wore one of my Christmas sweaters back at the end of November. Yeah, so right. It's all sparkly and stuff. But on your Silent Night, I have something to show. And so I hope y'all can read this. There we go. Let's see.
No, okay, there.
Okay.
Don't be mad. I said I was sorry. I should have made reservations. Talk to me, Mary. Mary. Silent Night began. Isn't that the truth?
Is that not funny? I thought, it's one of those things I really don't want to post, but it really is funny.
Yeah. And yet part of it was the social that, talk about legalistic. Here was a woman who is known to not be married and pregnant.
Well,
so that was the social that, I don't want to be associated with. So they said, well, no, there's no room for you at the inn.
Well, but also it was full. And it
and it was
wasn't that they
full.
couldn't afford it. They
Exactly.
had money. He
They
was
had
a
money.
carpenter.
Right.
They were gainfully employed. Plus, if you look at the genealogy, he had a pretty high genealogy,
Yeah.
but was in Nazareth, basically hiding out because Herod was killing the kingly lineage.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So,
so even his stepdaddy was in the lineage, and his mom was in the lineage. And
right.
anyway, and I'm talking about the lineage of David, King David.
Right.
I don't need to talk in code. Uh, but anyway, and so, I don't know if people realize it, but where he was born, the stable that they put him in was the stable where they raised that they put the lambs that were being raised for sacrifice, which were the most
Elite
prized
of the
animals.
elite.
They wrapped those lambs in swaddling clothes to keep them, because baby lambs will kick and run. And so they would wrap them in swaddling clothes for a while to keep them still so they would not run and hurt themselves. Because if you don't know that the lambs had to be totally spotless and without blemish.
Right.
And the shepherds that were called that night were the shepherds watching the sacrificial lambs. They were nearby, but that was the stable that they ended up putting, all prophetic of Jesus's,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not a trough, a feeding trough. It was a slab, basically, that they put them on, and that's where they were born, and that's where he was born. It wasn't quite what it's pictured in
Right.
the.
Another thing is
Yeah,
poetic license is
yeah, I mean, people that
what
have
people don't know.
studied into it, and I haven't studied into it. I've learned it by listening to the people that have studied into it. But in the ancient writings, there is so much more. And it's not, if it doesn't match the Bible, you can't you can't use it. You can't call it good. But it can explain some of the Bible. And as long as it's not contrary, then yeah. So, there's so much exciting stuff this
Right.
time of the year. So
Yes.
much exciting stuff.
And that's the thing. Be excited about the season.
Yes.
So many people let themselves get so stressed out.
Yes.
And here's tripod.
I
Hello.
tripod.
Yeah, I don't keep her out anymore. I can't. I mean, she knocks things down. But anyway, but yeah, how often do we hear people say, "Oh, they are so stressed. They're stressed about time, the timing. They're stressed about gift giving." Well, gift giving is supposed to be fun.
Yes.
And one
Well,
of the things I have to admit, in our family, we have, because there's so many of us, we now do like a grab bag. Like we do a gift exchange, so we all get we pick a name, and it has made it so much easier
yes.
because you just, so many people are getting so stressed out, and being in the stores. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a shopper to begin with, but we're getting so stressed out over gift giving. Well, gift giving is supposed to be fun. It's
Yes.
not supposed to be stressed
Yes, and thoughtful.
and
The thing is
thoughtful.
it's supposed to be thoughtful. And yeah, it's easy, especially when they get to be teenagers, to go pick up a gift card or stick some money in a card.
Yeah.
But it and that's appreciated for a teenager.
Yes. Well, that's where I'm at. The
Yeah.
teenagers, because sometimes, I mean, I have to admit, a couple of years ago, like I give the grandkids money. That's just the way it is. Because I have no clue. They'll tell me something and I'm like, what? Number
Yeah.
one, don't understand it and have no idea
Or where to find it.
or where to find it or whatever. But a couple of years ago, a couple of the grandkids, they pooled their money and bought something for the both of them.
Oh,
And
that's
that was
cool.
and that was really cool to see. that they said, oh, well, we've got this money, this money, and we can pool our money and get something that both of us can use and play with.
Yeah.
And they did. And I think they still play with it, and they still have it. One of those Xbox things, I think. And so why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
So
and we think that everybody has to have, and especially, okay, let's start your first grandchild. You just lavish the gifts on it.
Exactly.
Well, then you have more and more and more.
I'm up to 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus a few extras.
Yeah.
So that's why
I
now
thought so yeah, it's so expansive. But let's look at the other side of Christmas. It is for being with friends and family, and I don't know if y'all have noticed, but there has been a little bit of change in the atmosphere when you are out. People, and of course, we're not right up here at the end. Okay, people still have time. I do not go into a store on Christmas Eve. One time, I've got to tell on Keith. One time, he made the mistake of forgetting, or just getting busy. The boys were little. We were, we'd been married just a few years, but anyway, and he made the mistake of not getting a gift for me. Well, because I took care of it for the kids, and we had actually gone and shopped together. There was a store one time that stayed up, and this is before Walmart even did this, but it was called Venture or something. And and they started staying open 24 hours in December. And we went like at 1 or 2 in the morning, and we went and just shopped and had leisure and chose things for the boys. But he had forgotten to get anything for me. So Christmas Eve, he goes to the mall.
Oh, brother. Never.
And starts looking for a Christmas present for me. And he had in his mind what he wanted. Yeah. Well, there wasn't anything left.
And of course, nothing left.
And I said, next time, just skip it. I love you more than the gift.
Right. Right, exactly. And that's exactly what happens to people. They get so stressed out. It's like, just fess up.
Yeah.
Fess up that, hey, you know what? I totally lost this and I don't have anything for you. And let's go shop. And one of the things that David and I, when he was still alive, we would do like promissory notes. And it was like, and we would get, like, we had cards that we would rotate. One year he gave them all to me, and 1 year I gave them all to him. And we rotated the cards. But you know what? Sometimes then it became that, all right, we got to suggest what we wanted to buy for ourselves. And that we found to be so much more fun than trying to buy gifts for each other. What are we going to buy for ourselves?
And there are times that we don't even worry about it. There may be something we need here on the homestead more, and we're like, let's get this instead.
Let's get
that instead, because
but it was the planning of it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get that instead. Okay, fine. That's what we've decided on. But now, what kind is it? What model is it? How much are we going to spend on it? Yeah. When are we going to go get it? All of the details.
Yes.
And we had such fun because, then that was when shopping started to become onto online. We were starting to be able to do online.
Check it out. Yeah.
And we would spend hours and sometimes days shopping for the thing that we had decided that we wanted.
Yeah.
And that was the fun. That was part of the fun of it. So, Christmas does not have to be stressful. It can be fun.
It can
be fun. Just change up how you do it.
Well, and set a budget.
Yes.
Set a budget for the entire Christmas. We've been doing that series on why the poor pay more sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you put all your stuff on a card and
Yeah.
then pay it out over the next year, you just lost all the sales stuff you stood in line on Black Friday to get.
Right. Exactly.
It's like you can use that money up really quickly in
Yeah.
interest. So, set it, I mean, make things. That's something we did. I haven't done it in recent years, but make things.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, I
the
did for
idea
years.
that I had this year, and I don't know if anybody in the family watches this show, but I got to thinking, you can get a silver round. And the other day they were like $23 when I went and checked. And that's 1 ounce of silver. Well, they're predicting that silver is going to outstrip gold in the next few months, and then everybody should change from silver to gold because it'll keep going. But that its growth is supposed to outstrip gold. But I noticed it went up $3 in the last week per
Yeah.
ounce. And
Yeah.
so what you can buy now could be worth 40 or $50 in the next few months. Who knows? But I mean,
Right.
for the teenagers, now they might not save it, they might not, but then they also might not know where to trade it.
Yeah.
So it depends on mom and dad and how they
Yeah.
look at investment like that. But I mean, I have some grandkids that I know would get it and hold on to it and invest. So,
Mhm.
things like that are a little outside the box
Right.
and
Right.
that grow instead of just being broken by the end of the week. So,
And
with the little ones, you really don't have a lot of choice on that side of it because they wouldn't understand a silver coin.
right. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
be wise,
But
be wise.
right.
One thing we started doing as our kids got older for their stocking stuffers, and we even did it for them and their wives and everybody as they were grown. We did real practical things, underwear,
Yeah.
socks.
Socks.
And I color coded my boys. Brad was red, Aaron was blue, and Jordan was yellow. And those were their colors. So I would buy everything in those I mean, not yellow socks, but yellow stripes on their socks or something like that, so that they would know they're theirs in the laundry. But to color code things, but we got really practical as they became adults. Toothpaste, toothbrushes,
Hmm.
and those kind of things that are usable, that are needed, and it saved them a bundle
Right.
as
Right.
adults.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes,
And
yes.
but I have to tell you, a friend of mine, she said, what, I always gave my kids socks. And then I got to the point where, they were adults. And it was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna give them money and then just stop giving them, a bag of socks. Well, they were opening up their gifts a couple, I guess this was a couple of years ago. They were opening up their gifts and they were looking around going,
Where's our socks?
where's our bag of socks? I haven't bought any socks. Where's our bag of socks?
Yeah. Well,
And it was like, because that had been her tradition, that she would give them money, but put it in, like my mom always gave us money, but she put it in something else. Like we would get oven mitts or an apron back in the day. Well, let's age myself, back in the day where we wore an apron. What happened to wearing aprons
I would still
to
love one.
protect
I
your
had one
clothes?
that was like
There's
it had
a bib apron.
sleeves and it tied in the
Yeah,
back. It was like
yeah,
almost like your paint shirts in kindergarten where you wore
yes,
daddy's shirt.
yeah,
I loved it, and I used that all the time the kids were growing up.
yeah.
The lady who ran the kitchen at our private school had given it to me, and I absolutely loved it. And
Very
I don't
important.
know what happened to it when we moved up here. I don't know
Uh,
where it went to. And I have some aprons and I never wear them, but I loved that one because it didn't matter how dressed up I was. I could put
It
that on,
covered everything.
cook, and not ruin my clothes. And so
Exactly.
I tend to run around in less than desirable clothes when I'm out here on the
When you're
homestead
cooking.
and cooking and stuff. 3 times last week, I wore one of my other things that I will wear out in public. And I was cooking, two of the times I was cooking uh,
and
gizzards
splatters.
and livers, and well, liver gizzards and livers, and it splattered all over the front of my shirts, including the one that Barbara gave me. And I washed it, did not dry it. I don't let Keith put, we don't put anything in the dryer that I wear. But anyway, so I'm spotting it again, running it back through the washer because it will come out. It's just it's gonna need a little TLC. Both shirts are, just because they have chicken grease down the front
Right.
because it blew up and splattered my glasses, my face, my
Oh,
shirt.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, and this is the fun things too of Christmas. That's going to be a memory that we have. And so bring things to your life. Even if you sit down and just remember some of the fun things that you did in Christmases past,
Yes.
rather than only, because when you only focus on what you have to do or what you think you have to do or what someone else is expecting you to do,
Yes.
that robs you of the joy of the season.
Well, and if you have to cut out a party, cut out
Yes,
one that's not important to you.
right.
It may be more important to stay home, have a cup of cocoa, and catch up just with yourself or with your spouse. Um, and you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to give, you probably don't need to give as many gifts as you
Right,
think you need to give. Give it to the people who it matters to
right,
and not to everybody and their dog.
right.
One of the things I used to do, and I loved doing it, I would spend 3 or 4 days baking this elaborate candy cane bread that's
Mhm.
braided with cherries all in it. And
Yeah,
because I had clients and Keith had clients. And so that's what we gave our clients. And so we would go over the list and we would not, everybody didn't get one, but we did send them to our clients and to the friends and family that really mattered. And
right.
so, I mean, not to say that somebody doesn't matter. That's a wrong,
Yeah.
that's a wrong thing. But the people we were close to, let me word it
But
that
yeah,
way.
right,
Yeah.
closer
And
to.
stuff.
So,
So, that's it's how it is.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you can't be everything to everybody.
Right.
You
Yeah,
cannot do it all. So don't try, especially this time of year.
yeah.
And don't try to keep up with the Joneses. What is it? Christmas Vacation? Is that the one where they were having like a light war on their
Oh, yeah.
of who has the most and all of that? It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
don't even
Yeah.
try. Don't
Like,
even
like I have to admit, here in my
fall off
town,
the roof.
yeah, we have a Christmas house in our town, and they do an absolutely amazing job. And it's a light show, and they have it set to music that you can sit in your car and go and watch it. I don't think their neighbors are really happy about it because there's a lot of, but it's only for 1 month out of the year.
Yeah.
Although they did do Halloween this year too. So that was interesting. I did not, not something that we won't get into Halloween, but it was like, so yeah, no, I'm not going to go to it. However, but Christmas, I'm looking forward to it. My girlfriend and I have already planned that we're going to go to it on Monday. And just it's like local here in the neighborhood. And so find local things that that give you joy. Like sometimes I just drive around and look at people, how they've put up Christmas lights. Excuse me.
Well,
Um,
we have a neighborhood and it's Bishop Hills. Actually, my middle son lives there now, but they deck that place out. I
yeah,
assume they still do. I have not been in years, but because the traffic, it's like one road in or one road out, or you can actually go through another town and come in the back way. But it's one of those, and it's like Lake Lanier outside of Atlanta does it too. But I mean, this place, every house is decorated to the nines
mhm,
and beautifully done, beautifully done. My neighborhood used to, but as as the original settlers, for lack of a better term, the people that built all the houses here on the lake, they are doing less and less, as they're aging. They were my parents' age. And so there's not as much decorations as there used to be. And I noticed that last year. So I don't know if it has anything to do with the age of the people or the fact that I think a lot of people thought all their stuff during the shutdown. I think a lot of people rethought what is important, what do I really need to do? What do I really need to be spending my time and effort on?
Right.
And stuff in the lockdown.
Yeah.
Because it changed the world. It
Change
changed
the world.
the world. But I
So, but
think
don't let it change the spirit of Christmas.
no,
So that's
I think this is going to be a great Christmas.
yeah. So that's so I think one of the biggest things, the biggest present that you can give to anybody is your presence.
Yes.
Just pay attention to what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and just be present with them. Make eye contact with people and say Merry Christmas.
Yes. Yes. And smile.
So,
A
and
smile is
smile.
free.
And smiles are free. So, anyways, that's it for us for today. So we just want to wish you just going forward into the next couple of weeks, and just do something that interests you, that lights your boat, that just gives you pleasure. So anyways, any final word, Miss Carol?
Well, I just want to say enjoy your holiday. Uh, don't forget the reason for the season, because there is a specific reason, and that reason goes across many faiths. I mean, people say, oh, and I may open a can of worms here, but well, that was Jewish and this is Christian. Well, my Jesus was a Jew. He did follow the feasts.
He was a rabbi.
Lived as a Jew, as did all the apostles and all the people in the first church. They were Jews. And then it was later on when Cornelius came in that all the rest of us got to join. So, he is worth celebrating. Christmas is worth doing, and don't miss out. Don't miss out. Enjoy your holiday. No matter what happens between now and then, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how tight the budget gets, bake a loaf of bread and take it to a neighbor if that's what you need to do. It means as much or more than a store-bought gift that you ordered on Amazon and got delivered and pre-wrapped. You can order your Amazon things pre-wrapped now. And so and your loaf of bread, unless you leave it sitting there for a dog to eat, isn't going to get stolen off the porch. So anyway, guys, have a wonderful holiday season. We will see you next week. And Barbara will be in her Christmas sweater, and I'll be in something a little more holiday-ish. But please like, share, and subscribe. Click the buttons, do all the things. Share this with your friends and family, because we hope we bring some value to your life. We hope we lighten your day.
Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
See ya.